AFL draft complete. A quieter night for the Giants tonight, selecting just one pick in Oscar Taylor. Start by just telling us a little bit about the type of player that Oscar is.
I think when you see some highlights of Oscar, you'll realise that he's a Giants player. He plays with speed and dash off half-back. He's got a nice left foot kick. He's composed. He's got to work. He's going to have to get bigger and stronger and build his tank. But I think when you see some of the traits that he's got, you see that he suits how we want to play.
How important is those characteristics of finding a Giants type player to add to the list?
It's always a consideration. I don't think we're going to be stupid about it and pick players for the sake of it because they suit how we play. We still want them to be made of the right stuff. And Oscar ticks all the boxes as a footballer, but also off field as well. And I think in the end that's sort of the best pick when it sort of marries up everything. And Oscar definitely did that.
Is there a current player on the Giants list or within the game that you would compare him to?
It's a good question. There's probably no one that springs to mind. I think those attacking halfbacks, I look at Ed Richards and Hayden Young, who had good careers as halfbacks early in their career, and then 5 or 6 years in, they transition into the midfield. I'd love to see that for Oscar down the track.
As we said, just the one pick tonight. What was the strategy heading into the evening, or did it change throughout the night?
No, I think we'd settled on Oscar as being our target player. Over the last few days, it became pretty clear that he was the one we wanted. There was a gap between him and the next, and that's why we traded up ultimately to guarantee ourselves the player, which we've done in the past, and I think that sort of sets the tone for what we're about. If we want someone, we get up and get them, and we did that with Oscar. And now we probably just sit back and reassess. We've got our main target with our first round pick, and then we see what happens tomorrow night.
Both Callan Ward and Connor Iden present in the war room tonight. What was their involvement and contribution?
Well, it's interesting because Callan's come down to Melbourne about a month ago and he's been involved in all our recruiting meetings, and I think he's loved that part, that he's, got to watch some vision and learn about some of these guys and that sort of thing. And Connor was interested enough to fly himself down for the combine and be involved in all the interviews, and he just loves it. And those boys have really enjoyed being part of it, and we're happy to have them involved. I think, it's great to see them chatting to Oscar now and welcoming him to the footy club.
Minimal movement this off-season, retaining a pretty stable list, but where do you see the gaps and how does that shape your strategy in night two?
We feel like we've got most areas covered now. We feel like we've got good depth in all positions. We've got some good young talent as well as some experienced depth. In the end, it'll just be pick the next best talent. We don't feel like there's a specific positional need that we need to address. We've got one available list spot,